This is Robert from Twin Peaks, and you're listening to Inspirado, Projecto. Got a light?
Inspirado, man, here. What do you think about the cancel culture? They're threatening to cancel Josh Whedon and take off Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Of course, they canceled Mr. Potato Head, Speedy Gonzalez. The cancel culture wars continue now. Ernest Hemingway is on the chopping block. What else have they canceled? There's just too many to think of here. Video games, but like I said, Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Ernest Hemingway. What do you think?
Oh, cancel, cancel. Why you gotta cancel, cancel? Cancel culture. It's interesting because my view of the cancel culture is basically whatever you see as trending topics on Twitter. And, you can buy, for $250, you could buy trending topics. You can pay troll farms, click farms. You could pay these rooms full of these people who are paid tiny amounts of money, who have a bunch of different aliases on Twitter and whatnot. So what you do is first you buy the trending topic, then you buy the click farm, and what happens is now it looks like it's an organic thing. When, you're someone like Vanguard or BlackRock who owns conglomerates of corporations, you can sort of like orchestrate it so all these things seem to step in line just sort of ubiquitously. Oh, that's interesting. Everyone just seems to be using the same lingo. Oh, that's quite interesting. So you buy those things, you pay for those things, you make it look organic. You make it look like it was just like a bunch of just people just decided this was a good thing to suddenly start talking about. But really, it was all manufactured to give that effect, to give that illusion. So I think these businesses that buckle under the weight of cancel culture, they don't realize that it's someone who's got a vendetta against that particular person or something, or heck, maybe it's just some rich CEO of some company who's like, you know what, I don't really like that guy. I've been waiting for an excuse to try to get him quote, canceled, unquote. So I'm just going to pay for these things, get those things out there, and then it's going to scare those businesses that he's attached to. Then they're going to go, oh no, look at all these people talking about this thing. Oh no. Because someone's going to see it trending on Twitter. And then, of course, they'll bring it into the business and go, oh, don't you see this? Oh my gosh. It's interesting how Twitter has become this, any of the social networks, they become something that is referenced out there in the world. I'm still astonished that there are songs out there that reference cell phones. I remember when I was astonished when they referenced pagers. Like, I don't know, something about that. I've just been suspicious of that kind of stuff. So cancel culture, who's the authority? Who's behind it all? That's what I always like to do, is the Scooby-Doo. Who's behind it all? Who stirs up the ruckus in the first place? People on Twitter are saying, dun, dun, dun. Okay, who are the people on Twitter? People I paid for? Who's writing the article? One of the people I employ for that website that I own. And I also paid for the trending topic and the click farm or the troll farm. So now that's talked about in there. Then of course, the podcasts I own, I'll have them talk about the tweets too. So more and more, it looks like it's ubiquitous. I've really kept my eyes on this stuff. I'll tell you, I think just from doing extra work, background work, And I've been a paid seat filler before, so I know, it's like when I see stuff going on, I go, there are some paid seat fillers out there. So, cancel culture is just such an interesting thing. I don't think anyone should buckle under the weight of it. It's kids having temper tantrums. I got a poopy diaper. So, that's my 2 cents, or perhaps even a nickel. Hello, you're listening to Inspirado Projecto. It's 4:16. I'm laying on the bed here, laying next to Marky. Saturday, the 26th of February. Yali Crew just played in. It's my first. We just got back a few hours ago, and Yachtly Crew just played out in. And I documented some of this in the last episode. We just played in Roseville. And then at a place called Goldfields, which is interesting because I was talking to Lisa Bowman, who's featured in one of the other episodes, recent episodes. I was talking with Lisa Bowman about gold. She was getting the idea of gold a lot in her brain, and I'm working on an animation right now that deals with that. But also, we played at a place called Goldfields, which is in Roseville, which is kind of near San Francisco, and I just realized I have not yet done the transformative shifting cube today. I have not yet done it. Then we just played Morro Bay last night at the Siren. Remind me to tell you sometime about the stuff that Lisa Bowman told me, some of the huge amounts of insight that she got, because it was just exploding my brain. Huge amounts of synchronicities. This is day 15 maybe? I didn't do the transformative shifting cube yet. I did it yesterday. More synchronicities. The idea is to keep that high vibration going. What are the ways in which we can keep that high vibration going? What's some of the material, the music, the conversations we can have? I always feel it's satisfying when I could come away from a conversation hanging out with someone and I know that we're just, it's the jazz. It's the word jazz. You're not worried about. There's no competition, no sort of any of that razzmatazz. So, Tara just texted me, and she said, I'm on the edge of my seat about Melanie Smith. Melanie Smith is the woman that I mentioned in the podcast I just released yesterday. She is I wasn't going to say, I'm not going to tell you. Tara gave me a suggestion on what to do concerning Melanie Smith, and I don't think I've publicly released what I found of Melanie Smith's. So I put out the call. I went on to the Nextdoor app. I have not yet heard anything yet. Well, first of all, primarily because I have not logged on to there yet, to be honest with you. I'm here. I'm laying on the bed with Marky, which it's crazy. These are some of the last few days I'm going to be able to hang out with Marky and Oliver because my sister is moving out with her fiance. Jenny's going to be gone. It's interesting because ever since I met Lisa Bowman on TikTok and she started seeing those ravens, I, of course, started seeing more of these ravens around here. And you know what? Her raven, who she calls Renwick, shows up all the time with his lady friend. And I've been seeing two big ravens lately. And ravens symbolize transformation, which is what I learned from Lisa Bowman, which I think is interesting because I am a Sagittarius. I shoot the bow, hit the target. What else? I was born on 321 Arrowhead Trail. 321. I always had a closeness to 321 contact. So Tara's like, I'm on the edge of my seat. What's going on with Melanie Smith? And it reminded me, I was going to text her about it, but I figured this would be a fun surprise, Tara, when you listen to this. I think what popped in my brain about the thought of finding this thing of Melanie Smith's was I had a frame of reference for it subliminally, and I just realized I unpacked it right now. It just surfaced in my brain. Years ago, my buddy Sean Say and Sean Say I recently hung out with. We shot some footage. I've been shooting a lot of footage with, not a lot with Sean Say, but we shot as much as we could throughout that 5-6 hours we hung out. And I might have even done a podcast with him. I can't remember. Maybe I was just too busy shooting stuff. I'd hoped that I shot some of the podcasts with him. He's a very funny guy, very quick-witted. We shot a lot of footage. And Tara and Mark and I have been shooting footage when we go out to Giant Rock, and we just hung out the other day. I don't know if I recorded us talking around the grave. Did I? Maybe I did. I talked about it though, didn't I? Going to the graveyard? We were trapped in the graveyard. So, before I go down the story with the graveyard, which I believe I told you probably in the last episode, so maybe go check that out and get back to me. You can email me at inspiratoprojecto@gmail.com. You can let me know whether or not I told you the graveyard story. On my TikTok, Inspirado Projecto, if you've got TikTok, I would love it if you followed me on there and then told me that you found me through the podcast. I would love it. Let's be TikTok friends. Let's do duets together. Let's make stuff. So, I found that thing on the ground a few days ago for Melanie Smith, and I put out the Call to Nextdoor app. There are tons of Melanie Smiths living in this area out here. So, I did what any sensible, infinite spirit would do, was I went right down to the next door and I'd said, hey, get a hold of me. So this reminds me of a time when I was with my buddy Sean Say. Just got to make sure I form this connection here, this umbilical cord of knowledge, of knowledge. Wow. If you really want knowledge, you have to get away from the ledge. No ledge, baby. No ledge. So, or maybe that's what it is. You got to get on the ledge to get the knowledge. Maybe that's what it is. To know, to get the knowledge, but no ledge. The edge. Maybe that's what it is, because you're standing on the edge. Interesting. No ledge, edge. That's good. So Sean Say and I were walking around, and we came across some tractors. I was going to get in there and turn on the key and just move the thing around a little bit, because I had flashbacks of when I was a kid. The kids we grew up on the block with, we would go across the street. There's a water reclamation plant, and there's a creek that ran through. And the parents were always like, "Don't go by the creek. Don't go by the creek." But we always went by the creek. There's open cornfields out there. We'd create all these great paths. And so, Stand By Me was kind of like I felt such a closeness to that. We'd always go, skin it. And Gordy just screwed the pooch. Oh, that was great. So they'd be doing this construction. We'd see a not tractor, but like, what is it? Crane? Comes down. It's like a Tyrannosaurus Rex. It's like the head goes, digs up the dirt. Looks like a brontosaurus, maybe. Sometimes the key would be in there, or sometimes there would still be some steam left in the hydraulics, and you can move some of these things. So I was going to do that. I was with Sean Say. I was having flashbacks of that, and I was going to do this thing. He's like, no, we're not going to steal it. I'm like, no, I'm not going to steal it. I don't have any intention of stealing it. A tractor, a construction vehicle. I have no intention of doing that either. I just want to move it around a little bit. So what was interesting was, in that area, had we not stopped there, talk about intuition, right? He wouldn't let me drive the thing. I was like, all right. On the ground, we found someone's credit card. Her name was Terry McVeary. Believe it or not, this is a real name, Terry McVeary. And what did we do? I think we used our trusty cellular devices, and we looked up Terry McVeary. I don't know if we had her. Did we have her? Oh, no, it was her license. It was Terry McVeary's license. That's what it was. It was her license. So, did we have cell phones back then? Huh. But we documented it. We made a documentation of going to Terry McVeary's house. What's tricky is I want to show this thing. I want to put this out there. It's just that, I mean, now her name is out there. Do you redact the name? Do you redact her face, but still show the house? Do you say what town it was in? You know, there are some of these things. But this was a true lottery winner right here. You know, this is one of those moments where you're just like, dude, I won the lottery on this. And we found Terry McVeary. Sure enough, we brought that license to her. She goes, oh my gosh, I didn't realize it was missing. I was out there jogging earlier today. We're walking under these great bridges. These old bridges, which I think they have like a fence up there or something. Like something to... They have some kind of thing on the side because people, it was such a beautiful, it was like the Golden Gate Bridge. You know, you always hear about suicides on there. And apparently that's what was going on with this bridge. People were plummeting off this thing. It was like they want one last beautiful thing to look at. Which Dolores Cannon says you cannot have that easy way out. You just repeat another life. Very similar to what you have to get through the karma. But while we were walking out there, we came across this mysterious thing. Another mysterious thing. It was bales of hay, and it had targets on it. And were there any arrows in there? I don't think so. But we realized, oh my gosh, these are targets out here. People come out here. There's probably about 10 of them. But then there are a few other of these others. And you wonder, was this always out here? Or was this something that, like, did homeless people set up? Did hunting enthusiasts? Who set these targets up out here? How long have they been there? Was it part of the park district? That's what we called it growing up, the park district. That's where you went to go take soccer lessons, for instance, swimming lessons, archery classes. I took archery classes there. That's where we went, where the big sled hill was. So maybe this was one of those things that, like, maybe they took archery classes down there or something. Archery is great. Once you understand, I mean, wow. I was really good at the archery, really good. Josh, because he was so into archery, he was great. Everything Josh did, phenomenal. My brother, skateboarding, bam. One thing my dad taught us growing up was never do a thing half-assed. Just never do anything half-assed. Like, if you're going to do it, bam, be committed to it. Wow, be committed to it. Little did I realize that advice would echo years later when I ended up going to Columbia College. That was one of the big things. Commit to character. Commit to character. Commit to the character. Like Andy Kaufman, plays it to the hilt. Bam. No turning back. Like a beat poet. I got this poster of Jack Kerouac on the wall. Here we go. I love this quote so much, and I'm reading it to you. The only people for me are the mad ones, the ones who are mad to be... You know what, by the way, this program brought to you by Inspirado Projecto. Inspirado Projecto. So, here we go. Jack Kerouac presents... Actually, you know what? I'll end this here. We'll have Jack Kerouac will be back very shortly. Thanks for listening to Inspirado Projecto. I'm so excited. I'm happy to announce that I called up Wells Fargo. I don't know why I didn't try this before, but I called him right up. I told him what happened. And good news is Melanie Smith has indeed lost her card. His credit card. You probably already figured that out. So I called up the FARG, called up the Farg, and I said, "Hey Farg, I have this Fargan card, and it belongs to this Melanie Smith gal, to this character." And so, lickety split, wouldn't you know, fixed it right away. No problemo, hombre. Thank you for following in this mystery, contributing your ideas, scratching your skulls, wondering what's happening next. What's going on with Melanie Smith? Will she receive her card? Will these two beings meet in person? What does she look like? What does she sound like? What are her thoughts? You ever do that? You ever sit at a stoplight? I remember I'd do that all the time. I'd be at a stoplight, I'd glance over, I'd look at the people, I go, these people all came from somewhere. This is what they call the moment before. If you're doing acting, they call, what's the moment before? You walked into the scene, but what were you doing before? Are you nervous about something? Are you hungry? You're like, oh man, your stomach just went, you're like, well, I'm hungry. Do you smell, do you hear something in the ceiling? What? Do you smell the aromas of what's cooking on the oven, on the stove top? So you're like, ooh, what is that? What happened before? Did you have trouble parking the car? Was it easy? Maybe you're happy about how easy it was. Are you checking your pockets? Wait, what is that? Did I put my keys in the right pocket? Yeah, okay. You do that, one of those things. Mm-hmm. Yep. So I would sit at these stoplights and I'd look at these people and I'd wonder what goes on in their life. Do they have animals? How many animals? What kind? What kind of relationship do they have with them? What's their family like? Do they have a family? Are they living by themselves? What are they out here for? What are they thinking about right now? What were they thinking about before? What are they thinking about next? What are they hoping will happen? What are they excited about that happened? What are they proud of that they did? What things do they get the most accolades for? What can they own as theirs, truly theirs? That's theirs. Their own thoughts, their own behaviors, their own preferences. What are they? What are their dreams? What kind of exciting surprises have they had in their lives? Can we trace those back to something? Wouldn't that be great? You have a synchronicity measurer. The synchronicity measurer. And maybe what they do, it's like a psychiatrist. Okay, what are the synchronicities this week? What are the synchronicities this week? That's what you got to do each week. You got to send them in. You got to write them all down. Maybe that's what I'm going to become, a synchronicity measurer. I'll put up on Fiverr. I'll say, look, I'll meet with you each week. I don't know, an hour, $50 online. We talk about all your synchronicities, and then guess what? I get to use it for a podcast. And now you're out there. There it is. And we can chart your progress. And progress in terms of the intention of perhaps wanting to make synchronicities happen or expect them to happen a lot sooner, a lot quicker, a lot more frequent. So maybe you chart that. You go, okay, well, this is what I'd like. I'd like to be able to bring my synchronicities in closer. So instead of a skipping pen, it's one long line. There's a through line. There are no speed bumps, in other words. There's no speed bumps. So, the sun has gone down. It's like it got that blue color out there. I'm getting visions of 1984 blues, or maybe like Ozark. Ozark has a lot of blues, just very blue. That texture of the clouds is great. The textures, I like these textures. I just found out. Mind blaster. Of course it makes sense. I knew that there would be Venn diagrams. Each of these interesting people that I've been meeting lately. Wow. Mary Milhone. She was the one who had the portal at the coach house, and we talked when we were stepping inside the portal. Lisa Bowman is from TikTok. Interviewed her on the podcast. I'm going to interview Mary as well. This is the interesting thing. Mary knows the granddaughter of Sylvia Browne. Lisa Bowman knows all about Sylvia Browne. Loved Sylvia Browne, mourned her when she transitioned, and then she knows all about her granddaughter. And so Mary knows the granddaughter. She's friends with her, and I'd like to see this cosmic. They're both highly clairvoyant. It's been an experiment. I'll put it this way. This has been an experiment I've wanted to see happen for the longest time. Seeing, like, amplifying the power. Another powerful one who can speak to the undead, actually, is Rebecca Foster. I think she would be part of the what I'm tentatively titling Clairvoyant Court. So one who can speak with the afterlife. Yes, ancestors, channels. I'm not going to get deep into it. I might have talked about it on another podcast. However, this would be a reality. However, it could also work in television format, movie format. But I don't know. That's what was interesting. This podcast started out with me wanting to document my ideas for myself and not worrying about copyright stuff or any of that jazz. But it's like, man, these are like your babies. You know, when you got these ideas, you're wondering if I share it, is that now, you know, one would think that if I shared ideas on here, this would be my ultimate my thing, because with the sketchbooks and Wonder Wander and any of these things I've created, my hope has been that someone wants to collaborate with me. Like, let's say if it gives them an idea. I've been thinking about like writing out an entire book of all my ideas, just get it all out there. So all my ideas are published. Now, would that, you know, if someone takes the root of my idea and makes an entire movie out of it, that's not copyright infringement or something, is it? See, the idea of me putting out the ideas would be so I could cooperate and collaborate in the creation of that project. So many times we hear about these phenomenal writers putting out these ideas, and then some other director, someone else goes, some agency swipes it up. Happened to my buddy Ryan, actually. Ryan McGonigal, the guy who did Legend of Fall Creek and Black Pumpkin, and we're getting financing together for House in the Middle of Nowhere, which, by the way, if you're a fan of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Hills Have Eyes, Last House on the Left, that's what this movie is going to be like. The House in the Middle of Nowhere. And we've been wanting to get this thing going for like 3 years. I think I told you about this. 4 years, actually. But then the quarantine happened. And so just now we're starting back up, getting financing going. Raising $200,000. There's a certain SAG budget thing. So right now I think we have $35,000 in the bank from people who have wanted to contribute. Because investors will get back 100%, 120%. 18 months after the movie is, well, from release date, to be honest. So you have to wait for making the movie, us to make the movie, and then waiting for the distributor to then distribute it. We have a distributor, Uncorked Entertainment. And so he gives us facts and figures on these things. And so then we show those facts and figures that he shows us on the kinds of numbers that could come flowing through there from a particular kind of movie, if it has particular things in it. And then we show that to the investors, and that makes them real, feeling very assured, rest assured. I'm looking up on the refrigerator here, and I see a picture of my dad and me and my grandpa. And trying to imagine, I'm trying to think, like, how old is my dad in this picture? He was probably younger in this picture than I am right now. That's what baffles me. When you see stuff like that, and you look at this and you go, oh my gosh, this doesn't have the date on it. But it was when I was in West Side Story. Glenbard North High School. No, yeah, West Side Story. I think this was Glenbard North, yeah. I was also in a different version. Gosh, this is great. Grandpa, Dad, and me. Look at these guys. Wow. Grandpa. It's like he's like looking right through the photograph. Oh, wow. Wow. So yeah, I want Mary and Lisa to meet each other. Any of these extraordinary people I've been meeting lately who I've been recognizing as fellow, starseeds, one might say. What other realms have we known each other in? So, Jenny's coming back. She's been moving to her new locale, and I was very pleased to come home and see the cats here. But she's coming back, and if she needs more help, I will most likely go with her. The ravens have been coming around more. Lisa told me that ravens symbolize transformation, and there's a lot of transformation happening. Here, listen to this. So you never know where the found poetry is going to emerge. You never know. That's why it's so great to be able to have this podcast, to be able to record these things in real time. Cinema verite, like veritas, truth. Truth cinema. You're listening to Truth Cinema, Enema, Cinema. One thing I'd like to do is either through Google. Did I talk about this? Skype, Google. I was offered the ability to start doing videos on Spotify. So, that's what I'm thinking. Of doing some of this. Recording some of this, high vibration stuff, putting it out on the podcast, getting it in video formatica. Skype, Google Hangout, something like that. Maybe it's live while it's happening. Let's put out the intention for me to get back into K-Chung Studios. I'm sure I still have my slot. Mondays, 1 to 3 p.m. 1 to 3, is that what it was? No, the first and third Monday. That's what it was. I like the idea of having a radio show on Mondays because, so many people, they don't like the Mondays. Oh, you got a case of the Mondays? Then you got Garfield over there. Oh, I hate Mondays. Hey, John, I hate Mondays. Hey, John, where's my cup of coffee? Hey, John, where's my Joe? John, give me my Joe. Johnny, where's my Joey? Johnny, Joey, stat. Johnny, Joey, stat. Before you know it, Garfield is just on a rampage. All because of Monday. You're like, oh no, dude. That would be an actual interesting movie, like sort of like a werewolf. Instead of on a moon, it happens on Mondays. Something happens on Mondays. We've had all these movies that take place on holidays. St. Patrick's Day, Valentine's Day. Those are the major ones. But I've never seen a series or a movie just take place, bam, like Mondays, bam, bam. So each episode is on a different Monday, maybe, but it's always there's something going on. Maybe at the start of the day, it's like being a werewolf, but at the start of the day, because I think on full moons it's only throughout the night. But this is backwards. This is during the day. Monday. Bam. It's like, uh-oh. The Mondays are coming up. Mondays coming up. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. People base everything that they're doing around that Monday because they know. I'm not saying it's like the purge, but there are specific people, and then, of course, you got the detectives out there trying to figure out, why is this happening? Are there chemtrails in the sky? Are they doing something to food resources? What are they doing? Someone's putting two and two together. Well, at the local grocery store, I noticed they had this new brand of this thing, and I was a little curious about it. They called it plant-based biological product. I don't know. I'm trying to be a vegan, I had to get this thing. It's plant-based. I had to get this thing. I just don't want to eat something that was once alive or had a mother. As Fred Rogers says, I don't want to eat something that had a mother. So I thought I would go ahead and get this thing. It was biological. It was biologically safe. It was logically the most biological thing I could find. It was plant-based too. It was kind of plant-based too. Yeah, it was sentient. It was thinking and screaming every time I took a bite of it when I put on my sandwich bread. But yeah, it's plant-based. It's plant-based. It's plant-based. What are you gonna do? It's plant-based. Yeah. It's plant-based. It's plant-based. That's a tricky thing to get yourself to get myself into. Is, I know that if you hook up plant waves to trees, limbs, leaves, etc., and so forth, you will notice there's a frequency. Hold on, what do we got here? Who are the people in your apartment complex? In your apartment complex. So just be careful of the Mondays, undays. I'm writing that down. There's an arcade nearby, and I keep thinking, okay, how can I factor that arcade into a movie? How can I do it? I wants to do it. Here's some more. They're just so loud. It's like the singing frog. It's like as soon as you go up to the singing frog, he's like, ribbit, ribbit. It happens to the best of us. Trust me on this one. For once in my life, will you just trust me on this one? Just this one. Please, let me have something, okay? Just this once, man. So I'm trying to breathe better. I'm trying to breathe all the way up. Really up. Past the point that and then, and you keep letting it out, all the way out. Then back in. All the way up. Open up that diaphragm. In all the way. Okay, fast. All the way out. Oh, that's great. Oh, boy. Wake up that mitochondria. What a way to wake up that mitochondria. Mitochondria, dude. Mitochondria. So, yeah, I'm writing them down, getting them down. I didn't do the transformative shifting cube yet today, so I will after these messages. Because I made a vow to myself, and I didn't do it this morning. I did not. And that's why I'm going to do it. That's why I'm going to do it now. You know what I mean? You got to live. You got to do what you got to do. All right? Take care. And I truly hope that you appreciate the next segment coming right up. Right up. I also want to take this moment to say thank you, Rob Broski from Twin Peaks. Thank you, Mickey Dolans from the Monkees. Thank you, Fearlessly Phoenixing, who I interviewed very recently. Thank you for contributing your voices to this episode. So what you're about to hear next is a little bit of a conversation I had with my sister Jenny. She, at this point, today is the 11th, 2022, March 11th. Her birthday is coming up, actually. So at this point, she has moved mostly out into the new place. I've got the cats here for a short time until she gets everything unpacked and ready to rock and roll. But I wanted to share this with you. Maybe you have a brother or a sister. Maybe you've lived with them in your later years and you grew accustomed to having them around and being able to reminisce about the olden days and stuff like that. Anyway, here we go. Thanks for listening to Inspirado Projecto.
And then Mike's mom met us at Mike's place, Kevin's place. And we loaded boxes, unloaded stuff from his pantry, boxed that up, and then I wrapped up some of his pictures that he had hanging on the walls and stuff like that.
Is most of his stuff gone? Or in the new place?
Yeah. He just has little things here and there, but all the big stuff is moved in, so that's good. His dresser. So the bathroom is nice because there's 2 sinks, and then just we each have our own sink, and then, but with these under the sink, I have 2 full things, where here it's I just have one.
Oh yeah.
Shit, I'm trying to so you have a lot of bathroom stuff. I was yeah, I'm a girl. I have a hairdryer, I have a straightener, I have brushes, I have makeup, I have lotions. I have more stuff than a guy's gonna have, And I'm and also at this apartment I had 2 full things. He's oh really? I'm yeah, I had more space. So it's now I have to downsize. Because I have to allow him to have his space for his stuff.
Yeah.
I can't be okay, I'm gonna put my stuff,
I heard you meowing. What can I do for you? It's funny because Oliver will meow in the other room. Jenny's pretty much moved out. I helped her yesterday. That's what you just previously heard, was my sister Jenny talking about moving. And so maybe this relates to you. Maybe you're moving out of your place soon. Maybe you're moving into your own place for the first time. Maybe it's time, maybe you need a change of scenery and you're going to a whole nother country or a whole nother town in the U.S. Maybe you're pursuing your dreams. You're going, you know what? I'm going to go pursue my dreams. I remember when I came out to California, February 23rd, by the way. I believe I talked about this on one of my other podcast episodes. February 23rd, 2000 is when I came out to California. So their anniversary just happened. 22 years of being out here. Following the inspiration. Now, as you well know, I've been coming across some very intriguing people on TikTok. TikTok is a wonderful place to find like-minded people because the way that the algorithm, or at least as I know it, how the algorithm works is that it gives you more of kind of what you're looking for or what your wheelhouse, as one might say, is. So it connects you with these other people who are aware of your frequency, people you can geek out with, talk shop with. You find these people who are, in a sense, you find the other reflections of yourself. That's the easiest way I could say it, really. We're going to look at it from a spiritual aspect. You're finding other aspects of yourself, which is really cool when you think about that. Because those, when you come across stuff like that, what that then is showing you is that you're not alone in having these particular thoughts or ideas. And how much of a joy is that to know, whether you were bullied when you were a little kid, whether you were just quiet, maybe no one understood you, maybe, any number of things as to why maybe you kept to yourself or why you didn't share aspects of your visions, your experiences, your intuitions, your midnight travels. Well, maybe you were astral traveling. Who knows? There could be any number of things. So you hid that. You kept that quiet. TikTok, more people are feeling brave about giving their stories. Young lady on the episode of 1111. I love it. We also had Lisa Bowman talk about her experiences, what she's gone through. We had Rob Fronebarger, who I talked to concerning my QHHT session with him. Revelations, some of the revelations. Stay tuned, by the way. I will be making a series of TikTok videos concerning my whole experience during that QHHT session with Rob, because a lot of profound things blipped their way through the antennae, and I really would get such a kick out of sharing that with you. We're all gonna get a kick out of sharing it together, because chances are either you've thought about these things before, they've happened to you, or you just love hearing stories from the fringe, like I do. I love hearing stories from the fringe. So as a result of this, there's Lisa Bowman, who we talked about. There's Rob Fronebarger. There's other young lady who talked about her UFO abductions. Each of these people coming forward, giving their stories. Feeling safe to talk about their experiences. To spill the beans. I'm putting some mustard on this bun right now. I'm having a bean burger. If you would have asked me as a kid, Kurt, would you ever be can you imagine yourself eating a bean burger? I'd be like, no, I hate beans. And second of all, that just sounds strange. But now here it is. In this day and age, we could do this kind of thing. So, one of these extraordinary beings that blipped across the time-space continuum and started appreciating and getting a kick out of and interacting with. I just love interacting with people who interact with the videos. I love it. Because these are the people. These are the people that you resonate with. These are the people of your neighborhood, so to speak. Your neighborhood. The people who understand your frequency. The people you can really go stretch out in front of. All that is very important. Very, 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 very important. You want to be able to stretch out wide and far and in front of people. with people in a journey together, collaboration. So, fearlessly phoenixing. This gal who, wonderful spirit. You know, I'm just, this is what I'm following now. The more people that I'm coming across who I feel a familiarity with, a strong familiarity with, because she, in her videos, they're always very, very filled with love, compassion, golden rule, all for one for all, just great sentiments as a spirit being that she has in her videos. And then also every once in a while she starts talking about synchronicities. For those of you who listen to this podcast, you know that, oh my gosh, I just love synchronicities. I love them. My favorite thing is to talk about. So, fearlessly phoenixing, which actually, I'll play you a message from her on the voice messages. Play her voice message on there so you can hear her. And then please, of course, check out her podcast, because she's already got 2 episodes up already. 15-minute episodes. Very quick, simple, and power-packed with nutritious cosmic information. I really would like to get my episodes down to 15 minutes. That would be a good thing. Maybe 33. Because 369. You know, to wrap in those living numbers as Nikola Tesla. This being burger, I just have to point out, has corn in it. Some kind of, I suspect maybe there's some meat, what do they call, crumbles, the vegan meat crumbles. Hello, meat crumbles. Hello, meat crumbles. Meat crumbles, the meat crumble. Hello there, I'm Meat Crumble. Hello there, nice to meet you. I'm Meat Crumbles, the Meat Crumble. Hey, no need to eat that real meat. Tuck in your lobster bib and pull up a chair. Meat Crumble. Hey, that's me. I'm Meat Crumble. Oh my God. The hits just keep on coming, right? So, fearlessly phoenixing. Thank you, by the way, for breaking bread with me. Breaking bread. It's a parody, right? Instead of Breaking Bad. Maybe it's about an Amish community. They may just make bread. And it's just about people breaking bread with each other. No conflict. Maybe the conflict is the nature. Maybe based on whatever creatures are living in the forest at the time. What have you. Right. I'm being rude, aren't I? I'm eating while I'm talking to you. So I'm going to take a moment now. Take a sip of my coffee. I realize now I was just so rude before when I was busy eating my I was so rude before when I was boy oh boy, is that a lip smacker. I realize now just how rude I was. I was so rude. Welcome to the ASMR part of the program. I hope you have your 5.12 surround sound speakers surrounding your skull, behind you, in front of you, above you, all the hexagons and polygons available. I was Let's have a flashback of what was going on. Remember? It sounded kind of like that. Kind of had that kind of similar sound. So, my apologies to you and your sensitive senses for being so rude and chewing loudly, sloppily. I mean, come on, get the lip smacking out of here. You know what I mean? You just gotta get the lip smacking. Get it out of here, okay? Let's make this agreement. Let's not drink any more liquids on the air, live on the air. We're live on the air. Let's not eat while we're live on the air. Our ratings are gonna plummet. I've been reading this Mr. Rogers biography book lately, and it's interesting how Mr. Rogers stays true to himself. He follows through with his intuition, with his heart. He follows his heart. He honors his truth. He's a good man. He is the change he wants to see in the world. He's treating his society phenomenal, and Mr. Rogers' neighborhood is an exact replica of the wonderful life that he had growing up and the vibe that he got from his neighbors and the way that everyone took care of each other and were there for each other, and the golden rule, which I talk about all the time. But it's worth remembering. It's worth mentioning, and it's worth applying. Most importantly. Golden Rule, baby. Golden Rule. There must be a band called Golden Rule. I imagine it's an entire concept album, and all their songs are ways in which the Golden Rule was applied. It's something to think about. Anyway, Fearlessly Phoenixing is going to be interviewed on this podcast about all of the extraordinary insight synchronicities. She's been writing down synchronicities ever since she's like, I think halfway through the episode. It's 2 hours, this episode. Usually when I talk to these dynamic people, it's 2 hours. I try to keep my episodes 1 hour, at least around an hour. Sometimes it dips its toe into the 12-minute mark, which this episode might do. However, I cannot say it will do that. You know what I mean? I cannot say that is something I will do. Who knows? This episode might end up being 54 minutes long. That's fine. It means I can shuffle in some other things. The main point here is don't eat while you're talking on the podcast. Don't drink. Certainly don't drink. Nobody appreciates the lip smacking. And that's my third and final offer. That's my third and final offer. By the way, that buzz, I'm going to bring you right on over here. This is the ozonator. See, there's that, but check out the bubbles. Can you hear them? Ozone, baby. Welcome to another ASMR on Inspirado Projecto podcast. So there you go. You never know what you're going to get here on the podcast. I'm not responsible for it. I just channel it. I don't take any responsibility for this. Nope. I signed an agreement that I would not take responsibility for any of the words coming out of my mouth. And I'm sticking to that agreement. I signed the contract with, by the way, my signature in cursive, which I know is a rare commodity these days. Such a rare. Rare commodity. Rare commodity. I'm looking forward to talking to Fearlessly Phoenixing. You gotta check out her podcast. I bet you by the time I release this, there will be 3 epiphanies up there. And maybe by listening to these interviews, listening to these dynamic opinions coming, channeling through these wonderful folks, it will then inspire you to share your ideas. Maybe you want to be on Inspirado Projecto. So check out Inspirado Projecto on TikTok. We can become friends on there. There's also Inspirado Projecto on Instagram. You can call the hotline 561-203-9179er, 561-203-9179er. Hold on, let me sing the official theme song. 561-203-9179er. Boom, 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 boom. 561-203-9179er. Boom, boom, boom. 561-203-9179er. 917-917-917-9er. Send it in. Voicemail. It's a voicemail. You don't even have to talk to anyone. Just leave your paranormal activities, etc., and so forth. Do you know how to speak? Do you know how to channel a different language that you never knew what it was you were actually saying? Go ahead, channel a different language and try it. Give it a try. I'll play it on the episode. I like the crowd participation. What can I say? What can I say? I just said it. Thanks for listening to Inspirado Projecto. And now. There he is, ladies and gentlemen, Oliver the cat, drinking water. That was extraordinary performance art. Thank you.
Hey there, I think I found the podcast okay. I'm not too sure how this works. If this voice message is actually going to your voicemail thing, or this comes right to you, but I figured I would just test this and make sure it worked.
Hi, it's Mickey Dolenz here. You're listening to Inspirado Projecto.
It's a face palm, a bomb of calm, like a napalm bomb. It's a face palm, crumbly malm of loamy alms. And how soon do you think you to do it again? It's a face palm, here it come alms, playing Brahms on prom. And how soon do you think you to do it again? And the homes from Guam to the cable coms are the grom rom diatoms glom in their moms. face palm, my face palm. The book of songs and rhymes and rhymes. And how soon do you think you'll do it again?